Finance Minister, Shri P. Chidambaram, spoke on a lot of matters which are absolutely relevant. I first of all put on record my appreciation for the fact that after his input and intervention, he came across, walking through the aisle to me to say that he shall not be here when I'm giving the reply, because he has some previous commitment already made in Chennai. As a result, he will not be here. I'm very grateful, and I really appreciate the gracious step that the former minister has taken to come and tell me that he's not going to be around when my reply is being given. So, some of the parliamentary best practices, I do place my appreciation. He had raised a lot of issues, and of course, in his own suave, soft, and very, very well-read, and being a very experienced finance minister, has said a lot of things on which I will definitely want to reply point by point. First of all, sir, he had quoted a lot of figures, and actually they are attractive to hear, and they are also very captivating, thinking, whoa, why? This is where the government has been put on the mat. Look at the figures. And you've claimed and projected numbers which are not achievable at all. This is experience speaking. Can I take it lightly? Not at all. So, on the specific 4 figures that he item-wise named, he said, income tax, you've given yourself that kind of a projection, not achievable. He had said, sir, that last year, it was 7 point something, and you've given a projection of 23.25. How are you going to achieve it? Very relevant question, sir. But I'd like to point out here, and that is why I think I've requested your permission, that since members will not have a copy of the budget before them, just the relevant pages I wanted to circulate, and you've been very kind enough to give me the permission. Just in case members would want to have a look at it, they can have a look at it. Sir, Shri Chidambaram has said income tax was at a certain level, 4,61,654, and he compares just the income tax. Sir, generally income tax includes income tax, the STT also in it, and together with it, corporate taxes also added. So all of them together make income tax. So if you have to look at income tax, you will take the figure which is income tax, STT, and corporate tax together and compare like with like. I don't know, but I'm doing a little reverse calculation, a little liberty taken on the figures quoted by Shri Chidambaram, because he's not explained how we arrived at a certain figure, but they are not part of my budget in some cases, so I need to explain, saying he's taken the figure for 2018-19 of just income tax and compared it with the previous year's income tax, STT, and corporate tax, and then said, oh, your growth rate was this, and the next time he compares again just the income tax. I am reverse working. I am not saying this is what P. Chidambaram ji has done, but otherwise I can't see where he's got these numbers from. So, income tax of 2018-19, he again compares just the income tax, perhaps without adding income tax, STT and the corporate tax to get the total, but compares just the income tax with the total and says your number is 23 compares it and gets a figure of 23.25. He's excluded corporate tax totally. I think it is a slip, but I'm sorry. Our figures are given in the budget document, and we stick to the numbers as achievable, as realistic as possible for us to reach. So on that number, I would like to put this as my possible inference of the way in which Shri P. Chidambaram has quoted some numbers. So it's convenient to just compare just income tax with a total of taxable income, which is something like 5 lakh something, 69,000, and then say your number is this. How are you going to achieve it? I'm sorry you missed out on corporate tax. Sir, second, he spoke about, so just for the records on the income tax, just so we are very clear, I'd like to say this. The provisional collection of personal income tax for the year 1819 as per CGA website is 4,73,182 crore, which is including STT. Actual collection of personal income tax for the year 2017-18 as reported in the budget documents is 4,30,722, which is given in the page 2 of the receipt budget 2019-20. That's what I'm circulating so that you know I'm talking actually what is in the budget documents. According to the growth in personal income tax collection for the year 2018-19 is 9.84% as per the CGA provisional over the last fiscal, and that is also attached. The honorable member Shri P. Chidambaram, I'm taking his name because he had clearly said he is not around and exempted himself. I hope you have no objection. Accordingly, the honorable member has taken the gross figure including STT for the year 2017-18, that is 4,30,772 crores, and compared it with the PIT, personal income tax collection excluding STT for the year 2018-19, that is 4,61,654 crores, and arrived at a growth rate of 7.1%, which is what he quoted. Had he included the STT in both the figures, the growth would have been 9.84 in the place of 7.1. Similarly, the projected gross PIT, personal income tax collection, including STT for BE 2019-20 is 5,69,000 crore and has been compared to the PIT collection excluding STT for the year 2018-19, i.e. that is 4,61,654 crore, to arrive at the growth rate of 23.25. So not comparing like with like. Had he included the STT, the growth rate would have been 20.24%, which is achievable, which is what I'm saying, which is what is said in the budget document, which is achievable considering our past record over the last few years and also imposition of higher surcharge on income tax, high income individuals. And that's also, you can see it, it is in the website available. I'm just showing a picture. This is not attached to the papers I've given you. Now, sir, next it comes to the customs. Customs. Shri Chidambaram said, customs was negative by 8.6%, minus 8.67. That is the actual growth of 2018-19 over 2017-18. He claimed it's negative. How was this figure arrived at? It would appear, and this is again my inference, that actual of 2018-17-18, that is 1,29,030 crores, has been compared with the actual of 18-19, which is 1,17,911 crores, It appears that the figure has been taken from the CGS website I'm showing you, which is not part of the budget document. It's the central government auditor's website, which eventually will get audited by the CAG, and subsequently in 2020-21 budget, next year's budget, will find a place. But it does take that whole year before that gets confirmed, but experienced finance minister, former finance minister, chose to pick that number up and wanted to compare other than what I've said in the budget. That number will come when I'm talking about the budget of 2020-21, but he's taken that already. It appears that the figure has been therefore taken from the CGS, Controller of Government Audit, website, which is still only provisional, but he's taken it already. All right, so what is the correct picture? The correct picture is in 2017-18, sir, in the first quarter was the pre-GST, which included CVD and SAD. There is a systemic little correction which everyone will have to take into consideration. This needs to be removed from the collection figure of 17-18. All this will be done during the CAG for the first quarter for arriving at appropriate comparison. But we didn't wait for the CAG, we've taken it up. The CAG would look at this correction which has to be done, because post GST, the CVD and SAD have now been taken out. So with this correction, which is necessitated post GST, the actual growth of customs in 2018-19 would come around 37%. In the first quarter of 2019-20 itself, the actual duty, customs duty collection stands at 39,036 crores. In this first quarter, we've already collected 39,036 crores. If you were to just scale it up for the next remaining 3 quarters, we will reach the BE final figure of 1,55,904 crore, which is absolutely achievable and realistic. So the customs figure, which we had quoted as 32, which was subject to a lot of consternation in the mind of our former finance minister, saying 32% in customs, can you achieve it? Yes, sir, we can achieve it, and probably even more. So the next point, central excise was flat. Shri P. Chidambaram said yesterday, central excise was flat, negative by even 0.5%, projection is 15.5. How is that possible? He had raised a very legitimate question, sir. But now, I just want to say, how did he arrive at this figure? Again, this seems to be a conclusion derived from the comparison of actuals of 2017-18, which is 2,58,834 crores, with the RE of 2018-19, which is 2,59,000 crores 612. And my response to that is 40,400 crores. 40,400 crores additional central excise revenue has been shown in the general budget vis-a-vis the interim budget of 2019-20, which was presented in February, is on account of the CS, which is the central excise duty or cess, which hike was on motor spirit, on high-speed diesel at the rate of 2 per litre. This will result in some increase in revenue, and amnesty scheme is also planned, which is announced in general budget 2019-20 with respect to tax litigations. Tax litigation matters of central excise and service tax, and that will result in some additional revenue too. And therefore, in view of the above, the central excise target of 3 lakh crores for 2019-20 is absolutely realistic. Let me assure you, former minister, whenever he gets to know the details of this budget, we shall achieve the target we've given ourselves. And finally, sir, even more what I would think outrageous, outrageous is the last year GST increased by 3.38, and the Honorable Minister, former Minister, said projection is 45%. How will you achieve it? Sir, I'm really surprised that I have to respond on fundamental facts of the numbers, but I will do it for the benefit of the House. 45% projection, how will you achieve it? It is not understood, and I'm saying this very clearly after having done all kinds of homework. In the first two, I did some reverse calculation and thought this is perhaps the way. And I'm not saying this is certainly the way, perhaps the way. But in this case, I'm unable to do even that. It is not understood as to how these figures have been arrived at. I honestly don't know how he's arrived at this. The actual revenue collection of GST for centre in 2018-19 was 5,81,563. This is provisional a figure. CGST plus IGST and CC. The present target has been kept at 6,63,343 crores, which is a growth of only 14.1%, sir. Where is 45? Where is 14.1? Taking into account and consideration a lot of IT initiatives, analytics, and new GST returns, which is likely to be launched, this is an absolutely realistic target.